Parker. Okay. I'm going to recuse myself from the PB 2019-24 application, Chopstick Chickies, and turn over to Vice Chair Stern.
Okay. Is there anyone here?
Just for my health purposes, I'm not going to physically get off the stage. I'm just going to get out of my seat and just go off to the side.
All right.
You don't have to actually leave it.
Huh?
You're supposed to leave the room, but obviously due to the circumstances.
I'm just gonna-
Just roll your chair.
Can I just go in reverse?
Get up and relax.
Does someone have a blindfold?
You can have your microphone back. Oh, you don't want to use that one.
No. So, PB 2019-24 Chopsticks LLC. Chickies. Is there anyone here for that application? Please step up to the mic. Identify yourself for the record, please. Spell your last name.
Robert Mazeroski, Mozorosky.
Would you take a look at the attorney, raise your right hand. Mr. Attorney.
You swear to testimony and give this board the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Okay, so the waivers that you're looking for Chickies are, let's see.
Want me to read them off?
If you wouldn't mind, Mr. Melfi.
No, sure. Still on here. Oh, there it is. What's the share? Okay, there's 7 waivers. Awning projection. Proposed awning projection is 40 inches. Maximum permitted projection is 36 inches. Sign projection from face of the building. Proposed sign projection from the building is 40 inches. Permitted sign projection is 38 inches. Awning material. The front of the proposed awning is a light box design. Awning shall be made of canvas or canvas-like material. Sign size, proposed sign size is 27.22 square feet. Front and sides of the awning combined. Maximum permitted sign size is 22.5. Signage size on the awning, proposed size of the signage on the awning is 27.22 square feet front and side. Permitted size of the signage on the awning itself is 4.1 square feet. Multiple logos. There's 3 logos on the awning. One on the attached light box, 2 on the sides. Lighting, proposed sign is internally lit. Permitted internal lighting sign is for individual channel letters only. The only thing that really changed from last application to this one, he took some additional writing off the front of the awning. But other than that, the problem remains with that front sign box on the front of the awning. Seems to be a major problem.
The front sign box, meaning the one that's...
The sign with it's written Chickies with the chicken on it, established 2007.
Right. Fresh food fast. Okay.
Right.
So first of all, Mr. Mazeroski, I'm assuming that Chickies, this is your logo, and this is how you operate your business. This is the logo of the company and so on and so forth.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, Mr. Belcher, what do you say? They added that extra piece in the front?
That was with the old application also.
So what changed? Oh, you removed some wordage from the sides, from the front.
From the front of it, they took off some writing.
When you say somewhere, what do you mean?
Yeah. Any questions? Any questions? Sure.
Ms. Belcher just asked the question.
I'm sorry, I'm saying, when you say some writing, what was before and what is the after?
The initial application, you're referring to the initial application, that the phone number, email address, and all the other things we found out after were not allowed. We'll remove. The only thing that remained, I believe, is the address
The stuff
and the logo.
I guess the stuff we typically don't like.
Correct.
The advertising, yeah.
Can I ask a question? Or
Sure.
Hillary?
I just have, so my question is, you weren't present, I guess, at the last.
No, it's not.
The previous sign overhung the other building?
Yes.
Is it still the same?
So the answer is yes. 13 initially when Chickies was,
Is that microphone on?
I don't know.
I just.
Hear me?
Yes.
Better? 13 years ago when I guess someone applied initially for this sign, I'm not sure if it was actually, approved that way or not approved that way and then done differently. I personally bought Chickie's 2 years ago. I inherited a sign that was overlapping that building. There's a picture from 2007, 2009, 2013, all on Google. The exact same sign, the exact same location. When we took over and did our logo, we did not touch the physical frame. It actually remained the same way it was from 2007. All we did was rewrap it with a vinyl, which we found out was not up to code, and that has been removed at this point. So the frame has been the same, and we actually have landlord, I can consent that that's okay. I'm not sure if that means anything, but that was allowed.
What's, or Dan, maybe you can answer, what's not pre-existing? The chicken's not pre-existing, the big chicken.
Right, this is, I guess the easiest thing to do is, this was the sign that was approved down in 2008. This is the sign that they're looking to do now.
But this shows that before is smaller.
Pictures don't lie.
So next door in Chopsticks, there's an air conditioner, and it looks like there's a spot for an air conditioner from before.
Yeah, the new sign looks larger. Is it not larger than this one?
No, so the exact same frame was the exact same frame that was wrapped. I didn't purchase a new frame. So it could have been that, I don't know, the exact same spot, the exact same frame. There's actually a picture, I don't have it with me, of the initial owner of Chickie's and the owner of Chopsticks standing in front of it. The sign is the same distance. So I don't know what was approved. If it was
What year is
changed.
that from? This is from 2008.
Right. I believe what happened was in that sign there was no light, which is probably the next conversation we're going to get to. There was never a light discussed in that sign, and when I inherited this sign and this store, I have a light within my sign, and I assumed that it was probably touched or tampered with from the initial application. So what I'm suggesting is I purchased a sign that has been there in place for many years. I don't know when it was changed or not from the initial application.
Is it possible somebody at some point they put up a frame with that
It's, I can only provide the board with the documentation that this board actually approved back in 2008. If something happens in between, I really have no way of knowing that. Shouldn't have been done. Because we've never allowed a sign to overhang on the property. It's just the issues of liability, things like this, schedule.
Not to mention encroachment.
Right.
Quick question, could it be that the logo? I'm just asking a question.
Quiet, we don't pick him up in the mic.
The question is, could it be that the logo, this Chickie's logo, is really at issue in terms of the size of it, drawing more attention? I mean, the older sign clearly was a little bit more subdued,
Right.
but this Chickie's logo seems like it's really kind of.
So yeah, the logo is definitely it's larger, brighter, it's more modern, and that's our logo. Regards again, the conversation at the moment sounds to be the frame, and the frame. I know that I didn't purchase a new frame. I just rewrapped the physical frame that's been there. I used to go there many times as a kid, and it looked the exact same way as it did 2 years ago when I purchased it.
So the question I have then is for Dan, and that is, does our sign ordinance speak to anything as pertains to the size of the logo in terms of
Well,
area?
there's a limit, that's why it's part of the denial, is the square footage of the existing, it's the square footage of the signage on the awning itself.
Okay, well, by what percentage are we over?
The numbers you want on. That's okay. Permitted size sign on the logo, they're at 27.22 square foot, and only allowed 4.1 square foot.
Okay, so we're like
Pretty substantial.
substantially over, we're 4.1 square feet versus 27 point.
What was the square footage beforehand, do we know?
18 square foot.
What was the square footage beforehand, do we know?
Who's got that?
Oh, I do, I'm sorry.
It may be on there.
That's the difference, that's why it's so important.
Question? We're in the middle of an answer.
I don't see it.
Who's chairing?
Look, the vice chair is here.
Yes, Mr. Rose.
Thank you. Just a couple of questions. Just above the word lighting, near the bottom of the heavy type, it says 3 logos on awning. Generally, when you have a statement like that, it doesn't just describe where they're located, but what is in fact not allowed or what is allowed, just to show you why it's cited there.
Yeah, because the logos are just repeated on the sides. That's what-
You know, I understand that, but what is allowed, what's not allowed? Everything else, it says you're only allowed 4.1. Maximum permitted is 22.5 if I go up the list. This doesn't say what the maximum is permitted, that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, it is saying what's permitted, it's saying 4.1 is permitted.
Yeah, no, those are, all of them are, except for the one where it's describing 3 logos on awning. How many are allowed? That's what I'm saying, it should, do you know what I'm saying?
Okay, you're like, what's the maximum number?
Yeah,
of
it's just,
logos allowed?
that's the one that's a non sequitur. All the others are complete thoughts.
It's like your business, if you had the name of your business 3 different places. That's the whole system.
I don't have the original denial though.
Okay. Okay.
So the only comments I want to make is, I mean, personally, I don't have a problem with the sign. The only question I have is the protrusion, the chickies that sticks out of the front of the thing. There was some certain voicing about it overhanging into the right of way, you know, into the. But Mr. Attorney, could you tell us in the past, have we been able to get a waiver of some sort from the applicants to so that they have a hold harmless or whatever?
If they can give us a hold harmless for things that are in the right of way, I would probably recommend something like, if you're going to approve it, I would probably recommend something like that as a hold harmless thing.
So, I mean, again, it's my own opinion.
Yep.
I have no problem with the sign. The only question I have is that if there's an issue with the protrusion, which was brought up, I guess, by Ms. Belcher, or Mr. Rose, that we asked the applicant, upon the approval, or grant the approval, is that there's some sort of identification for the township. Yes, Howard?
Yes, I'm wondering, when I look at the proposed signage of the awning, it's 27.22, and it should be up to 4.1. What a significant differential that equation is.
Yeah, but-
I mean, that's incredible.
I'm thinking about the current-
It leads me to the word, a descriptive word of garish.
You know, the current sign was 18 or 19 square feet, or 20 square feet, whatever he said, so I'm not looking at it from 4 to 27, I'm looking at it from an increase from 18 or 19 to 27. I'm looking at what it is now.
What's that 18 from? That's just from a
What
former.
is currently there? I think you said 18, 19 square feet was the current.
Used to be there.
Well, it used to be there?
Right.
So we're saying based upon something that used to be that was inappropriate, we can base to do it even more inappropriate for this time going around. I don't understand that logic.
I'm not always logical, but that's the way I think.
I don't have a problem with the sign either. Can I make a motion to approve?
Make a motion for the second, we can vote.
Can I just ask, I'll second, but I just want to ask a question of the attorney. We don't have approval for the big frame, but the big frame was there. So he's only replacing what was there.
What I would suggest what we do here is make an approval of the sign as built and say that we're going to approve both the frame, the awning, and then the light box is attached to the awning. So, again, what I would suggest is we do an approved as built based on the pictures that we have.
We don't want to cause a hardship if it was there and we're just replacing it, but.
At this point, because things have been changed and moved around, just prove it as built, or prove what's there, and then we'll just take it from there.
So I'm not even
So
motion.
is there a motion? Is there a motion?
I have a question.
Yeah, please, go ahead.
I have a question. The question is,
Mr. Attorney, it
Speak
says,
into the mic, please.
yeah, my question is, do you have approval from that neighbor if they're encroaching upon the property? Do you have that? Isn't the township concerned about that?
That's not for our concern. If you're.
I have approval.
It's not for our job.
You have written approval from that
I
owner?
can get written approval,
You
yes.
can get written.
Well, you can base the approval based on the
Based on
approval.
his written approval.
That could be-
It's not, it's not our job to go and make sure that other people have given permission to build.
Yeah, but like if we're putting a fence up on our property, don't we, and you see an encroachment,
Right.
don't you, before you approve that, ensure that we have that approval? Isn't that something?
That's not our.
But it's been there, it's been there all along.
But someone comes to this board, they come to us, they ask for approvals. We don't double check that their property rights are secure. That's their concern. We don't double check someone else's property rights. That would put a liability on us.
I'm a little confused because that makes me think, why am I saying?
No, that's don't. When someone comes to this board, a great example is the application we had last time, the gas station one. When they come here, they tell us what they have. They say we have the right for buying the property, we're doing this. We do not double check that. No board in the state ever double checks what property rights are presented to this board. That is their attorney's job, that is their job. We do not, anybody, confirm anybody's property rights when they come. We're not taking on those responsibilities. That's not our responsibility. Our responsibility is to approve what they've asked us for, not to make sure that their neighbor is okay with, where their property is. It's not our job.
I'm sorry, did you say our job is to approve?
Or disapprove.
Mr. Thompson?
Oh, that. But our purview is limited, let me just say it like this, our purview is limited to the applications that are before us, not the property rights that are underlying of that application.
Is there a light box in there, Belcher? I thought I heard that somewhere. Is there
Currently or previously? Currently, there is one. There, again, same conversation we had, about the frame. The light box, which seemed to be many years ago, was not approved. There is the same light box from 2008 that is in there as well. So really what we did was we used the power off of the light box that was maybe not done properly or done after it was approved from 2008. So we haven't replaced any lights, we haven't added any lights. I'm basically using this box based off of what has been there since 2008, which seemed to be working. There's definitely there's a picture in later than 2008 of light protruding from that sign. I'm not sure, I think that may be there, if not, I should have brought it, but there is clearly light in that sign, which is not approved in 2008.
Question. Okay, but on that same vein, the previous sign compared to the new proposed sign,
Yes.
is the new proposed sign is 23 square feet larger than the previous sign,
Right.
and it's lit.
So it sounds to be that it's only 8 square feet larger. It sounds to be that it's only 8 square feet larger than it was before. And secondly, right in front of the sign is a ginormous brick building. There are no residents. It is empty. It's not even in front of the store. And it is literally straight into a brick red building with
And you're
no one
saying that
there.
there's no apartments?
There's no apartments upstairs.
Okay.
There's nothing to the right, nothing to the left. It's mathnasium, and it is, the entrance is on Queen Anne Road, which is literally facing a brick wall. So,
Here's the wall.
I guess, down the wall. Thank you.
So do we have a motion? Motion. We have a motion by Mr. Pagan, a second. Ms. Orgen.
Yeah,
And do we have, you want to amend, I'm sorry? Oh, I'm sorry.
And regarding your attachments of the awning to the building, how is that? Is it attached to the box and the box is attached to the building, or how is it?
I believe the awning is attached to the, I believe the awning is attached to the building, and the building is attached, and the box is attached to the awning. I believe that's how it is.
There's been no building permit issued for this, so it can get through zoning. He's got to turn in all the structural stuff for how it's attached to the building.
Yeah, but we're not gonna.
No, it's not to us. He's got to do an electrical permit, he's got to do a structural permit, it has nothing to do with the zoning here.
And one other quick question, has nothing to do with the sign. Above it, there's a security camera.
Yes.
Is that part of, because I went there before and looked, I mean, the camera, I have,
Are you referring to the ginormous box looking security
Yeah.
camera? So that has not worked since 2008 also.
Oh, okay.
That is, not working camera. Dummy camera. I've tried to gain footage from it, it doesn't work, I promise you.
The technology's changed since.
So we have a motion on the floor by Mr. Pagan, second by Mr. Orgen.
With the language amended by the attorney.
I do have my hand up for a while.
Yes.
Thank you.
I'm trying to understand, are there any of these multitude of variances that are required that there's any change in terms of what's being proposed compared to accommodating what's required by our norms and by our ordinances and laws? It just seems, if everything here is granted, including a canvas, a non-canvas awning material and the 27 square feet, it just sounds like unwarranted accommodation. Is there anything here that we're saying is valid enough as a concern pointed out by a building department that we're going to say, well, you know, this and this really, well, that's what we normally do?